And I keep saying these things to Africans, they don't understand it. They don't understand it. Every week in Africa, during Christmas, if you like, be in South Africa, if you like, everybody from the capital goes to the village. If you go to Accra, the same thing happens. This past Christmas, if you like, go to Cotonou, go to Yaoundé in Cameroon. Every living in the capital city, they go back to their villages. They go back to their where they come from. They do that in the Western world. Drink from Florida, I'm going to Florida. No, you don't. Because people come from where they are born. We come from where our we are born. The difference between born in Africa and from Europe and other parts of the world. We come from, so where do you come from? He or she will mention their village. That is what makes us very, very unique. You destroy that, you are finished as a people. In our Bible, first and foremost, we belong to our tribe where we come from. That is why our people need to appreciate this. Very, very critical. That Africa is not to recognize where people come from. All these artificial creations by Europeans, Nigeria, this and that, all that rubbish. That is why you can never ever make any progress for the next years. You can never ever progress in the zoo. Why is it, if we are not tribal, why would the whole president come out? Fulani presidency come out, we are defending Fulani headsmen. A presidency of the whole of Nigeria, so to speak, is by instinct. We are tribal beings in Africa. That is why Nigeria is unsustainable. That is why the man has to vote to say, this is where I want. That is why referendum is the only way forward. That is why Africa is poor. Africans must recognize this is who we are. You cannot live in Lagos because it's impossible. You must. That's where you come from. And if they ask you, you were born in Lagos, we say, oh, that's where my parents come from. Your parents will say, that's where my parents come from. You keep going back until they get to perhaps the 100th generation. That is who we are born on the streets. Some people were born along Ijora or Kota Highway in Lagos. Maybe they are from Urobo. You ask them, where are you from? They say, I'm from Urobo. But I was born in, this is where I come from. That is who we are. That is why all these US idiotic things created in Africa cannot survive. It can never ever survive. And how do we stop it? Only if you like, keep postponing it. Keep putting it off forever and ever. Only a revolution can solve all revolution. The powers be those that are making your life a misery. Nobody will say it's a coup anymore. It's popular uprising. Don't let anybody deceive you. Let anybody deceive you. And that is why today some soldiers are listening that are listening from the army. How can you be a soldier in the Nigerian army and your village is being occupied by Fulani headsmen? Imagine those from Oyo or serving in the Nigerian army. Who are serving in the Nigerian army. You are from Yoruba, you are serving in the Nigerian army, doing Nigeria. But your village is being occupied. The same people you are serving, or you claim you are serving, your village is under occupation by them. And to make matters worse, those who are serving one Nigeria and the Arabic inscription, or should I say, of Ottoman and Fodio. How foolish Nigerians are. You don't know that the Nigerian emblem, the army emblem of Nigeria, is the motto of Ottoman and Fodio that he used to conquer other people. You don't know that it is there. That's what they're using. You're fighting on of your conquerors. Maybe in some forest. Now they are sending their advanced strike force into your village, and you're doing one Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian soldier. I'm a Nigerian army. That is why I commend 127 soldiers that have resigned so far from the army. If you don't do these things I'm asking you to do, you will, when the time comes, as I'm telling them now, remember 2015, remember 2014, You must go and listen to Simon Ekpa, who is doing a very fantastic job. Very great job that Simon Ekpa is doing. Very, very, absolutely fantastic job that he's doing. You must listen to him and share his videos accordingly. Very, very important. He is bringing a new dimension to this very awareness that we are making, and you must listen to him. Very, very important.
Okay. Ndewu Muchineke, we salute you from here and welcome to this very segment. Adabia Ndewu from my end. How are you doing and how has your day been? Unmute yourself.
Oh, been doing good. Thank you. Hello, Biafralands. How are you guys doing? Hope you are doing well anywhere you are. Welcome.
Thank you, Obi. Thank you. Chineke, we appreciate you all for all you're doing and your steadfastness and synergy and the love and togetherness that we share. And above all, the trust that you have shown in us. You only see us from this media. You see us propagate the messages. You see us send messages to you. You see us communicate to you. You see us gather for fundraising. You see us do everything from this media to the other. You don't know me, can't reach my office, or you don't know me, can't reach my house, or where I dey live. You don't know Obim go reach in house, or where she dey live, or where she dey work. You don't know Simon go reach in house, or where in dey work. Now for here, now we know ourselves. The spirit of Biafra and that love and togetherness is what keeps us going. But the possibility of you believing in the seed that we are sowing is something that I must accord respect to. Because it's not easy to believe someone that you don't know physically, but you only see the person on the media. Whatever the person is telling you, you are keeping up the faith and keeping up the faith, and you keep on the fire burning. So we appreciate you all, especially to Biafrans back home. We appreciate them all. And to our leader who is in detention, we appreciate his willingness to be the sacrificial lamb to our restoration mandate at this very time. We appreciate Mazi Simon Ekpa, the interim leader anointed by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is standing in as the spokesperson of Biafra. We appreciate Umuada and the spokesperson and the entire team of Umuada. We appreciate the ESN. We appreciate every volunteer group who is doing one thing or another to make sure that one Nigeria is brought to their knees. As far as you are fighting to destroy one Nigeria, you are my best friend. And if I see you in any joint, I owe you a champagne. Because the best thing we can do is to make sure we destroy one Nigeria so that your lives will not be destroyed. If you don't destroy one Nigeria will destroy you. And that is why we must keep up the faith and let the fire burning until we get to our destination. MNK behind bars has been the catapulting system that has made all the monsters in us to come out and to keep the fire burning. So it's like they kidnap MNK for our own good, for us to come out in time, because if they did not kidnap him this time, many of us wouldn't have come out and we would have not multiplied the synergy that we had in us to the restoration of Biafra. The power embedded in Mazi Simon Ekpa wouldn't have come out the way you see him now. All the power that you see us using day and night wouldn't have come in. And you, that is strong in heart and convinced that Biafra is coming in no time, will not also have had the conviction. So everything happens for good for they that know God. But remember what Jesus Christ said. He said, woe to you, through which the Son of Man will be sold out or betrayed. But the Son of Man was destined to be sold out. But woe to you, who through the Son of Man will be sold out. That message is explicit to the people that concerns. All right, we are not here to stay for too long. We are here to pass a message. And if you can look at the title of this broadcast, it says, why you must not rely on the politicians in Biafra land, because they can't give you security, they can't give you lives and property, they can't even give you development, They can't even give you anything. The only thing that they can give you is to slaughter you in pieces, to make life miserable for you, and to deter you from even progressing from point A to point B. Your equilibrium cannot even be determined. You are being tossed as a pendulum ball from point A to point B, dangling like this, which you don't know which way to go. You are only being controlled by the system. So, these are one of the reasons why you must not rely on the politicians. So, before we go further, let's play a video that will lure us into the day. So, like we said, we are not going to spend too much time. We just hit on the matter and then we walk out.
Taraba is a mini state. It's a mini Nigeria composed of various ethnic groups living together reasonably peacefully. But the peace in this state is under assault. There's an attempt at ethnic cleansing in this state and of course in all the riverine states of Nigeria.
Get it in quote, in all the riverine states of Nigeria. In all the riverine states of Nigeria. That is where we want you to understand. In all the riverine states of Nigeria. So, the aims and objective of the annihilation and the takeover of one Nigeria is not all about everyone in one Nigeria. It is focused on the riverine states. When they are telling you the riverine state, when Gowon shot the first bullet from Calabar, where did he come in from? He came in from Kakem. He had to cross the riverine state to enter inside Biafraland. That was from Kakem. They have to cross in. So when we say the riverine state, we are not just talking about where you see water. We are talking about the entire Biafra land. The entire Biafra land. That is the point we want you to understand. The focus of the Fulanis is fixated on where all the deposits of the natural resources are embedded. And where are they? Biafra land. But I ask a question. Recently, there was discovery of oil and gas in, was it in the northeast or in the north central? Then I ask the question, will they now fixate their eye on this oil that has been discovered from this area and then allow us to buy for once? No. That is why the idea of live and let live and then allow us to stay in peace cannot work. The time has come to make people to understand that we are no more talking about peaceful freedom strategies, because the government of the day and the terrorism government has not been peaceful to us in any way. So if the terrorists are using guns and weapons and grenades to bomb and explode your churches and your communities, to desolate a particular community like in Amufu community in Enugu State, was that a peaceful state or it was in turmoil? Was that a peaceful state or it was in chaos? Was that a peaceful situation or it was in pandemonium? So tell me, if you want us to go in a peaceful way to fight or to cohabit or to exist with terrorists that have every sophisticated weapons supplied by the government of the day. When you check the description of this broadcast, you see that Buhari government spends over 124 billion in 4 years to import weapons into Nigeria. The question you should ask yourself is, who are the people using the weapons that has been brought in by the Buhari government in the past 4 years. It is the terrorists because the weapons are brought in for the annihilation of your communities, the annihilation of your people, the reduction and the depopulation of your numbers, so that they will gain the free access since they could not have succeeded with Ruga plan. The Ruga was truncated, which Mazi Nnamdi Kanu exposed it before time. The Biafran people made it to go viral. They understood, and then the lawmakers and the legislatures, they had to sit up to understand that the Ruga wasn't for their interest, but for their own destruction of lives and properties. That is why IPOB under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, which you see us today, we have to bring people to limelight for them to understand the doom that is awaiting them. And without us bringing them to limelight, one Nigeria will consume them all.
We must resist it. We must stop it.
We must resist it, and then we must stop it. And how do you resist and stop? You have to only use resistance and stoppage when something is coming with force, when something is coming against you, when something is coming in a way that you cannot just let it go like that, because the force at which the thing is coming, you cannot withstand. So you need to look for a counter force to be able to confront the thing. So we must counter it, and we must defend ourselves. How do we defend ourselves? How do we defend it? How do we get it counterproductive? That is where our funding comes in. Take us to anywhere and tell us that we are defending ourselves, that self-preservation and self-defense has become a crime, so that we will understand the law and the jurisdiction of the international community, or OAU, or NATO, or US, or UK, or the Commonwealth, that enumerates that the country, like one Nigeria, headed by the terrorists, have the jurisdiction to be slaughtering the people of Biafraland and the well-meaning people of one Nigeria in their thousands, in the name of Islamization and Fulanization of the country. Explain to us, let us know. So take us to anywhere. When we pick up arms to defend ourselves, we are doing it with our fundamental human right, because self-preservation, self-defense is sacrosanct. And you must utilize it to the latest, because the people that are coming to kill you, the aliens, they have weapons that has been given to them and funded by the government of the day. They are the soldiers of the caliphate. Just like Gumi, the Oga Patapata of them, told you that when you kill one terrorist, you have annihilated their plans of the Fulanization agenda, because these are their soldiers of the caliphate. These are their warriors, which they are meant to use and destroy lives and properties in one Nigeria. And the foolish and nonsensical and moronic rulers and leaders and politicians that we have in Biafra lands cannot use their think tank to be able to understand what the Fulani terrorists have in stock for them. That is why we will not stop reminding you and preparing your mind. Lest I forget, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu started preaching since 2012. There are people that have been preaching with the Wazirike since 2004. To this very day, they are still preaching because they have the hope and understand what freedom is all about. So, when we talk, don't tell us that we are talking too much and talking all the time. The awareness must continue, because most of you in Biafra land don't even get information and know what is happening. It was in this broadcast that we had the day before yesterday that somebody called in and got our number to be able to tell you that I have been brainwashed by DOS for many years. And I did not know what was happening. They use us to do the work for politicians while we were told that we are to be working for ESN. But in the absence of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, DOS members have been using us to work for politicians. And they don't have shoes, they don't have granite and sticks to be using to fight the terrorists. When many of them fall sick, they don't have money to treat themselves. They go treating themselves with their own pocket money. And when they don't have, they resort into criminalities. Do you understand what the formidable arrays of enemies and the enemies within and without has actually signified? Do you understand when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told Simon Ekpa, said, do not allow the devil to enter you? Do you understand the meaning of it? The meaning of it is that Mazi Simon Ekpa, do not allow the DOS members, the devils, the pounds on your flesh that are supposed to bounce on you. Do not allow them to infiltrate you. Do not allow them to affect you with what they will come with. Do not allow them to carry you away. It is only someone that knows where the devils are that will speak of the devil. God is the owner of the devil. Devil did not emanate itself from nowhere. So when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was telling Simon Ekpa, do not allow the devil to enter you, he knew quite well that the devils are amongst his family DOS members. So those are the devils that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was talking about, because the devils were not far off. The devils were inside the family of IPOB. So he knew them, because he, for how many years, he has been with them. And then yet, behold and behold, Onyendu was now crying in 2021 for 100 men after he had been working with criminals for over how many years. He was now in 2021 crying for 100 men. So, when we pick up arms to defend our land and defend our people, do not misguide what we are doing, because we are doing our fundamental human right of defending ourselves. Danjuma told you, we must defend ourselves. We must fight back if we must be alive. I don't give a damn if Danjuma has been amongst the people that had killed Nigerians before now. When you are serving in the military, you defend everything that you swear an oath to. This is one thing you must understand about military work. So, it's not in my position to ask what he has done while serving under the Nigerian army or while serving under one Nigeria. With the experience that I've had, I understand what security means. So, the message is what we should take, and not Danjuma, the person that is sending the message. This is the mistake that we make at times. When Mazi Simon Ekpa is speaking, when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is speaking, most of you hate Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Most of you hate Mazi Simon Ekpa. As I speak, most of you hate me and don't like me. I don't want you to like me, but I want you to take the message that I am giving you, because if all of us had taken the message that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Mazi Simon Ekpa, and even Danjuma now is telling you, you will not be in where we are today. All of us would have had a sense. When we would have anticipated the situation beforehand, we would have known the way and manner to defend ourselves and to move on. And because we leave the message and then we go to attack the messenger, whereas the messenger was only sent to deliver the message. That is how we find ourselves in one chance, in one Nigeria. And this is why you must not rely on the politicians in Biafraland. If you want to be alive, you need to follow the strategies that we are putting on ground, that Mazi Simon Ekpa is putting on ground. That is the last man standing, and you must support what he is doing. If you want Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to be free, if you want your brothers and sisters to be free, if you want to be alive, these are the people you need to listen to and to follow. Forget about what your politicians are telling you because they are useless. All your communities that have been ravaged and under siege, what does your rulers and leaders do about it? Nothing. They are the people signing the document before the terrorist comes in and goes out, so they know every plan that happens before it even.
Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral.
If we must be free, all of you must put your energy together to ESN. Every one of us must give all our support to Mazi Simon Ekpa. And that ESN that was formed by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu must be forestalled. It must be kept to the letter, and we must continue to support and put everything to it. Every one of us must rise up and forget about the shambles of elections in 2023. And this myopic thinking of yours, of obedience, being the hopeful for you. Because that is a waste of time.
They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits.
Okay, it's very clear that the army that Ugwuanyi was calling yesterday, that the only people that can solve the problem of the incessant killings by terrorists in Enugu communities, that it is the military that can solve it. Now, Danjuma has told you that the military that Ugwuanyi is talking about, that they collude with the armed terrorists, that they are working together. So tell me, why I tell you, you must not rely on the politicians that you have in Biafraland. You have just seen that your politician said that it is the Fulani army that is going to help you. But Danjuma is telling you, don't believe what Governor Ugwuanyi told you. You have to fight with everything that you have. Obi, say something. Let me check something. I'm coming.
Hello, Biafrans. When a Fulani man, Danjuma, is telling you, you must resist, what does that mean? When a Northerner is telling you, you must fight back if you want to be alive, you must resist. Resist is by force. It's not telling you, you must beg. It's not telling you, kneel down. Resist is fighting back if you want to be alive. Resist is a word for fight. It's not a word. A word you can say, okay, it's another word is to beg. What is resist with your smartphone? That is telling you today. Maybe he must have committed atrocities when he was serving as a military officer. That's fine. Take what is coming out from his mouth today. Forget about him. Just listen that he said, you must resist. How can you resist? Is it by folding hands? Is it by going to fight without any ammunition? We have our ESN fundraising. We have our boys. You must buy granite for the boys. You must go to www.ipobinusa.org and pay your tithe. That is how to support the people that are protecting you. You don't have anybody. Solaga is busy today telling you that Anambra will mount more blockade more checkpoint. Soludo. Well, election, all of you will be fighting. Resist. Sit at home. You are fighting. You don't have anything to go and fight this Fulani. Do you have anything? No. Resist. Look for what works for you. What is working? The only thing that have been working in this sit is this sit at home. That is the only weapon that is working, that is making them to talk about Biafra, that is giving them high blood pressure, giving them sleepless nights. Even the killers by themselves is hurting them. So you add more energy to that thing that is working for you to resist these people. If you are sitting at home, somebody is passing, you will know who is that person. You will raise alarm when you don't understand it. If you hear anything, you must say something. If you see anything, you must say something. Also be your brother's keeper. The resistance is refusing to be in Nigeria again. The resistance is refusing. Don't ever accept the election in Biafraland. We stand on no election. That is one of our resistance. You hear Danjuma saying. One of the resistance is sit at home that is working. One of the resistance, you don't have weapon to fight back. Whatever that is working for you, you do it. That is the resistance. Resistance is not you kneeling down or going to church to pray. Share this video. It might get to some people now. You remember the one we did the other time was how the other guy that was hiding got our number. Your like, your comment, your subscription is doing something wonderfully. That is resistance. Your resistance is not going to church to pray. God will not come to heaven to if you don't do anything. You must do something serious, drastic measures to resist one Nigeria. You must do something serious. Resistance is not begging, it's not complaining, it's not always looking for cheap. You must do something serious. Only sit at home have been giving them sleepless nights. How about when we add something else? Yeah, Gazi.
Obim, thank you for keeping the fire burning while I had to fix something. So, Biafrans, you must understand what we are saying. It doesn't matter where our viewers say Danjuma is from. It doesn't matter where he comes from. If I should ask you something, you will not believe what I'm going to tell you now. Do you know where Gowon comes from? Do you know that Gowon is not a Fulani man? Or do you know that Gowon is a Christian? But it's Gowon that was used for the massacre and genocide of your brothers and sisters. Gowon. So, you don't need to pick at on us when we say Danjuma is Fulani or is not Fulani. No, it's not about where it even comes from. It's about the role that you have to play when you're serving one Nigeria for you to be able to project it to the next point at the mercy. Oh my God. Gowon is a Christian. Gowon no be Fulani or no be Muslim. Gowon na Christian. No be Gowon na spearhead the killings of over how many millions in your village? Your governors that are being used in the East, are they Muslims? Obus Odema, is he a Muslim man? Is he a Fulani? Dave Umahi, is he a Fulani? Ben Ayade, of course, is a Fulani. Udom Emmanuel of Akwaibom said, is he a Fulani? Okowa, is he a Fulani man? Wike is a Fulani man. Soludo is a Fulani man that assembled your brothers and sisters the other day to send them to the north for killings.
They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
I hope so that Yeramo, if you are depending on the armed forces of one Nigeria to stop the killings, the same armed forces that collude with them, work with them, shield them, protect them from every checkpoint, escort them when they kidnap you, they escort them. If you are waiting for the same army to come to your aid, all of you will die. They will all kill you. They will wipe you off. Because your governors, your politicians, your rulers, your traditional rulers, your Igwes, your Eze, your Obongs, your Tamuno, they will tell you that it is the army, it is the police that will come to your aid, that will solve your problems. How many years have the name Nigeria existed? Since 1960 to this time, right? Tell me when the Nigerian army has ever spearheaded the clamping down on the terrorists that comes to kill you in your communities. The reverse is the case. It is the Nigerian army personnel and the police and the navy and the air force that have ever spearheaded the massacre, the genocide, and the annihilation of your people in the communities. They will escort the terrorists, they will haulage them from one point to another, and they will all wear military uniforms. You have seen the other video that is circulating on the media, which terrorists came out with some machine guns and some AK-47. And they came out in military uniform. They were telling you that they are out to, and they are ready in no time, that you will hear from them. Has one Nigeria gone for them? Has Nigerian army gone for them? This is why we tell you, do not rely on the politicians in Biafraland on what they tell you. The same message goes to our Oduduwa brothers. The same message goes to our Ambazonian brothers. The allegiance that we have had will forestall for long. And the moment that we find ourselves is a determining factor. So you need to be very, very resolute. And that is why we will keep the fire burning every day. If you rely on your governors and election riggers and politicians and all these criminals that you have, let me even not forget. If you also rely on DOS, Directorate of Saboteurs, if you rely on China Sanworu, if you rely on Ejiofor, if you rely on Igbo leaders, if you rely on Owaneze, you are the one digging your grave. Because they will assure you that one Nigerian government, one Nigerian military and army will come to your aid. And you will all die. The only solution to our problems is for all of us to come to the terms and understanding of the unveiling of Eastern Security Network under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, which Mazi Simon Ekpa, the second in command now, he is in charge of and piloting the affairs in a very synchronized service manner. And that is why they are panicking everywhere. They said Mazi Simon Ekpa is nobody, right? They said autopilot are nothing. But this is the same autopilot that enacted a 5-day sit-at-home, and the whole Nigeria came to their knees. And they were making noise all over the place. They had to be writing to every media house for them to propagate the news upside down, to turn it. They bought all your politicians. Your politicians came out and told you, ignore the thing, or don't answer them, or go back to your businesses. So at the end of the day, it is the same politicians that still brought army and terrorists to come and be killing some of you that refused to listen to us and then went out. Because we know the people that we are confronting. We know how hardened they are in their minds. They are wicked to the extent that they can kill all of you and then they collect political position and then collect money and then zoom off to America. The former governor of Anambra State that finished his tenure, did it take him up to 48 hours to run out of Anambra State? No, because before then, he had already understood what await one Nigeria. He had already understood the insecurity situation of one Nigeria. He had prepared his money and his family and your own money from the dividends of democracy that is derived from your communities. And he has prepared the money and buy mansion in America, buy in UK, buy in everywhere, keep them. Await his absconsion after just coming down from power. It did not take him up to 48 hours. It was the same day after Soludo just took power. That was the same day he wanted to abscond. And throughout his tenure, he was telling you that he has constructed international airport in Anambra State. And he could not even fly from the same international airport in the Anambra State that he claimed to go to where he was going. He had to now fly now to Abuja first. You see why they cannot even allow the international airport to work in your own state so that you cannot become anything, so that Nigeria will remain vulnerable to everybody. And you yourself will also remain vulnerable to the political class. Because if I made a call today and then I asked how much is kerosene, they told me that kerosene is very high now. I asked of petrol or fuel, they say it's about 350 naira for a liter. In a country where you produce over 1,000 barrels of oil in a day and sell it out to the international community. And it is even so shameful that it is not even refined in your country. It is refined in another man's country. And then the finishing product is what you buy. So how about the debris, the waste product gotten from the refined oil, which is useful in producing electricity? The leftover, that waste, the waste after you refine oil, the waste that comes out from the machine, it is used to produce electricity in other countries. You see how one Nigeria is helping other countries to facilitate their economy while they derail everything about you and then you become useless. That is why the oil is refined in another man's country like America and UK. So UK and America will always give you visa to come down to Canada to come and study and then work in Canada because there is job creation. Electricity is standby, so you can come there while they rig you dry.
The ethnic cleansing must stop in Taraba State. It must stop in all the states of Nigeria. Otherwise, Somalia will be a child's play.
Somalia will be a child's play. Please, I am asking you people now. Was it Mazi Nnamdi Kanu alone that said this one? That if you don't stop the terrorists, Somalia will be a child's play to one Nigeria. Now you are hearing it from Danjuma now. If you people don't join hands, stand up to face these terrorists, Somalia will be better than Nigeria. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said it. And when they took him to court, they said he threatened the sovereignty of one Nigeria. That he said that that Somalia will be better than one Nigeria. Now, Danjuma is telling you the same thing. So what is different? Or the difference is that the one that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said before, it came from the mouth of a prophet of Biafralands. So they hate to hear it from his own mouth. Have you people not already started seeing how Somalia is getting better than one Nigeria? Where in a community like Enugu, it is deserted. Terrorists have ravaged everywhere, and then the people in the community have run away from the community. The army helped the terrorists to make sure this community is annihilated and desolated. And you still have a sitting governor. Somalia will be better than one Nigeria. Go and see IDP camps in the country that you call one Nigeria. IDP camps occupied by indigenous persons of the land, while the ancestral lands of these indigenous persons have now been occupied by the terrorists been brought in from the Sahel. Who brought them in? The ruling government, the government in power. That is why, as the terrorists now inhabit in the lands of the indigenous people and then send the indigenous people to IDP camps where they now live under thatch houses. They use canopy to put like this and then sleep under. Some of them sleep on the floor. Some of them hang. Some of them live. Oh my God. The government of the day cannot go and crush the terrorists who have come to take over the sovereignty of the land of the people. But they can go and prefer IDP camp for them to stay, while they allow the terrorists now to take over and make that place a safe haven. Do you understand why you don't need to rely on the politicians in Biafra land? Because if you continue to rely on them, what happens in IDP camps in other places is what will await you. That is why you need to use all your energy and strength to focus on what we are doing. What Mazi Simon Ekpa is saying. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was saying the same thing, and then they kidnapped him and then they locked him up. And it will surprise you to know that people like Ohaneze Ndibo, GOS members, Walibo Congress, the governors and the rulers of the East, Ejiofor himself, Chinese Nworu himself, and federal government of Nigeria themselves hand everything together to make sure MNK was kidnapped. Do you know how? Afterthought evidence, and even the recent evidences that have shown up when we enacted the 5-day sit-at-home. Ejiofor said he is taking Mazi Simon Ekpa to court. And DOS members said they are also in support of Ejiofor. Igbo leaders, Ohaneze, they called for the head of Mazi Simon Ekpa. The federal government of Nigeria did the same. But Gumi just called for the protection of his terrorists. That if you do any mistake to climb on the terrorists that he has in the bushes, that means you have come to calm what they did not want to. So you now understand how Ohaneze Ndigbo, the governors in the East, and all the rulers that we have, anything that answers the name Igbo in leadership or rulership or in elderhood, how they partook in the kidnap of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Because if they were not part and parcel of it, how can Ohaneze Ndigbo tells you that Simon Ekpa should be kidnapped or arrested and extradited to Nigeria to come and be behind bars with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because of enacting a sit-at-home that will bring a lasting solution to the killings and massacre of the Biafran people? Ejiofor that claims to be our own lawyer, our Karo White lawyer, is the one that filed a suit to take us to court and tell the Nigerian court that we are terrorists. Invariably telling the Nigerian court that you cannot release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because he is a terrorist. Because if I call a subject a terrorist, that means he himself is a terrorist. But I claim to be defending him in court. Do you people now see how God used one bullet to expose many people? The 5 days sit at home was opportunity to expose many things to the Biafran people for them to understand. I love it when things happen radically, because after this time out now, you have been able to know the people and people and people and people that has the interest of the Biafran people at heart, and the enemies within and without that have been working to make sure Mazi Nnamdi Kanu does not live to see the light of day, and that Biafran people do not live to see their future. Because of what? Money, fame, name, accolades, awards. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is behind bars. Ejiofor has received all the awards in one Nigeria, and yet Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not released. And all these awards are coming in quantums. Hey, they gave him an award for making sure that the Anambra election did not hold. They gave him an award for making sure that the sit at home was cancelled in August and July of last year. They gave him an award again for making sure that he has kept Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in detention since last year to this time, and continue to wallow Biafrans in the vibe that MNK will be released this week, he will be released next week, he will be released next week. Everything you've always had is, our leader is in high spirit. Our leader is in high spirit. Danjuma has told you that if you rely on your politicians, if you listen to your politicians who are working in hand with the terrorist Fulani military and the terrorists in the bushes, that all of you will die. That what you need to do is to stand up, frame up, join forces, set up a defense mechanism. We already have one. Eastern Security Network is there. All you have to do is for you to align with us. The people in Ihamufu community, most of them never believe that their communities will be the epicenter of the terrorist attack. Why am I making this point? I am making this point for those of you that are watching us and will be resolving to the idea that we are talking rubbish, that we are talking trash, that there is no terrorists in the land. You don't know if it is your community that will be the next target. You don't know if it is your community that will be the next invasion line. So wake up and understand what you need to do, because the clock is ticking. You may say we are rude or we are cool. It doesn't really matter. When the terrorists are using knives and machetes to slaughter you and cut your heads off, are they rude or are they cool? So, for you that is writing on the comment section that we are rude, it doesn't really matter. Because the terrorists, when they are cutting you to pieces, you don't go to ask them, terrorists, are you rude? Or you are only here in the comment section to come and write and say that we are rude in our statement. When you are fighting war, you don't look faces. You target the enemy. It doesn't matter how I am disseminating my messages. But what you should focus on is not about me. It's about the message that I'm sending out, to be able to create the awareness.
I ask every one of you to be alert and defend your country, defend your territory, defend your state. You have nowhere else to go. You have nowhere else to go. God bless our country.
You have nowhere else to go. You see, when they invaded the communities in the northeast and north central and many places that you now have IDP camps, did they have any other place to go? They did not have any other place to go. The only thing that the government of the day could provide for them was IDP camps, because they had nowhere else to go. Your communities taken over by the terrorists is where your house, your parents, Your generations back 5 generations ago had lived and then they handed over to you. And you came up to live with the legacy and to continue it. Now the terrorists come, invade, and then wipe you all off. How do you start the move from there? Do you have any other place to go? No. Because that is where you have toiled and then you know the nooks and crannies of your own ancestral lands. Now the terrorists are in charge. Where do you have to go? Are you going to run to Niger Republic? Are you going to run to Zimbabwe? Are you going to run to Cote d'Ivoire? Are you going to run to Lake Chad? Are you going to run to Cameroon or Mali? Are you going to run to Senegambia? So if all of you don't wake up to the understanding that we are destroying one Nigeria to make sure that you are alive, you will not understand what we are doing. That is why 2023 of no elections in Biafraland is not something that you need to even think of negotiating or even trying to gamble with, because we have lost too many men. We have lost too many children. We have lost too many women. We have lost too many old men. We have lost too many old women. We have lost a lot and we cannot afford to continue to lose. Like MNK said, it is better we even fight with even machete and hoes while the terrorists are hitting us hard to kill us than for us to run. As we are running, they are now shooting us from behind as a coward, and then we will still die. So it's better we even use the machete and hoe that we have to fight with the resemblance of dignity, and then we die with our own sword fighting, than to run away and then be caught up in the same net by the terrorists. Very disheartening. These are the reasons why you must not rely on the politicians in Biafra land, because there is nothing they say that can secure your lives and properties. Ebubagu was set up by your politicians in Biafra land in connivance with some people inside the DOS. There's something you will understand, that even while MNK was shouting on the radio that the setting up of Ebubagu is against us, little did MNK know that some members of his DOS, people that are even working with him, are even aligning with the government of Biafra land to make sure that the Bubagu is set up in order to destroy what we are doing. You see, when MNK said, we are fighting a very formidable array of enemies, both within and without, he did not just say it for saying sake. He said it from what Chukwu Okike had already shown him, from what he had understood. So for him to have been speaking in riddles, it was for people that decode and can interpret to understand what he meant. And today you are seeing how it is. That the people that claims to be working with us are actually the people aligning with the Igbo governors, the Ohanese, the politicians, the federal government of Nigeria, Ejiofor, to write our names and then say they are taking us to court because we are using ESN to confront the terrorists that came to kill our people in our communities. So, your governors are actually fighting us because we are fighting the terrorists. Whereas the terrorists and their advocates are coming out to tell you, say, if you should touch our terrorists, we will kill all of you because you are trying to destroy our soldiers of the caliphate. But the efulefus that we have are now the ones actually working with the terrorists to make sure all of us are killed. So when you see Peter Obi coming up, this man that made this statement, Gumi, was actually making you to understand that the next person that is coming into power, if he is allowed, that nothing is going to happen to our terrorists. Because he is going to do the mandate of the caliphate. So there is no way in anyhow that something will happen to our terrorists, because if he messes up to touch our terrorists, he is going to be destroyed. That is the spokesperson of the terrorists. And you have the Oga Bata in the Senate House, you have them in the National Assembly, you have them in the finance, you have them in the Air Force, you have them in the army. So where don't you have them? Biafrans, it is time to wake up. We did not presume to stay long to even this time. Ada Biafra, fire on some more before we draw the curtain. There we go.
Before we close, I want you to reflect on this. If anybody that want to take over will not kill their warriors in the bushes, they are warriors in the bushes. They are warriors in the bushes. Meaning what? Remember, during good luck Jonathan time was killing the Boko Haram. The Northerners gang up against him and move him. And if today Soludo can bring out people, pick our boy from Onitsha and send them to Kanu prison, to Sokoto prison, and nobody is talking, do you think it's when they enter that place that they will talk? If Hamufu have been slaughtered in hundreds, thousands of Biafrans missing, and nobody is talking, is it when they kidnap your own father or your own mother, he will talk? Is it when your own village will be invaded that he will talk? Biafrans, wake up. That Juma is from the north, though he might be Christian, but he's telling you today that you must resist it if you want to be alive. That don't rely on the officer or the military. Don't rely on your governors. Who are the police officers without your governors? Because they are bringing them to the eastern region. Boko Haram committed, destroy everything in the north. You didn't see any governor from the north bringing their brothers and sisters in some way. Soludo has been bringing. Did you hear of any security outfit like the Bubago in the north? Why our leader brought out ESM was for you to sleep well. The first year we had this our ESN 2 years ago, did you sleep well or not? Did you enjoy your Christmas or not? What is happening? Who can travel to village today without being afraid of being kidnapped on the way from Lagos from Benin to even Anibu? Your freedom is in your hands. Fight, beat anything, even machete, even hoe, catapult. Make sure you have something, even if it is something like this. Tell your neighbors, once they hear something like this, everybody should know that something is going on. When you see something, you must say something. When you hear something, you must say something. Thank you.
Thank you, OBM. Biafrans all over the world, we must appreciate your time and your focus. And if you have not shared the broadcast, please do so now. Use these few minutes to hit the like button and the share button. Share it to your groups, share it to your WhatsApps, share it to your Instagram, Telegram, Twitter, TikTok, everywhere that you can share. Mind you, we have found ourselves on TikTok today. Simon Ekpa dragged me to TikTok today. So we were there for over 3 hours today or 2 hours today. So we were there to do a hangout and then to educate some non-entities. So please, If you are not on TikTok, also go to TikTok because we have to cover every page to educate some people. So when you go to TikTok, the video I posted on Facebook and on YouTube and Twitter, that was the video I posted on TikTok. You will see the username. You can find me there at Aparawasoni. So you'll find me. Simon is also there. Many of us are there. So we have to be disseminating the information everywhere. It's because my phone was busy. I had wanted to make sure this broadcast that we are in here will be going live on TikTok. But because my phone was busy, I forgot. So, web this moment, whenever we are live, our TikTok live account will be on. That is when we have made the requirement to go live. But I think you must have like 1K subscriber followers before you can go live on TikTok. So follow us everywhere because we have a lot of things to do. There are many people that are still doomed and does not know what is actually going on. So thank you very much for watching and for listening. From us from here, we will say a very good evening to you all.
Taraba is a mini state. It's a mini Nigeria composed of various ethnic groups living together reasonably peacefully. But the peace in this state is under assault. There's an attempt at ethnic cleansing in this state and of course in all the riverine states of Nigeria. We must resist it. We must stop it. Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits that kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one. The ethnic cleansing must stop in Taraba State. It must stop in all the states of Nigeria. Otherwise, Somalia will be a child's play. I ask every one of you to be alert and defend your country, defend your territory, defend your state. You have nowhere else to go. You have nowhere else to go. God bless our country.
Planning have taken over our place. They have 5 settlements. Like for this government and other places, they have some settlements. Planning have taken over that place. Killing children, men, destroy all farms, everything that was ever in this land. They have destroyed all of them. Put cassava and rice, yam. Not only that, they will come to the people where people settle and also destroy their houses, collect everything they have, even the money. They will go there, stay the money, take suits, everything in the house. They also go to the bush, even put fires on their rice they cultivated. They will put fire on that land. They have done a lot of things. But this recent one, they came and occupied in one place called Ezugwamolo and Ogbete in Buja Autonomous Community. Start torturing people there, start destroying their houses and everything. When the security people went to ask them what is happening, why are they doing this? They attacked them. We don't even know that there are as many as camping that place. We don't know. They attacked the security. They have killed many people are in the bush. We are looking for many people missing. We have found about 2-3 cops lying down dead in the bush. No fear can catch everybody. Nobody can even go and vacate the cops. Some are in the hospital. Those that were shot that did not died immediately in the hospital. You can see men and women every quarter in our hometown now. You can see refugees. You can see in my house. People that run away finding, crying, finding what they will eat. No food, no money, nothing. Matter have been reported to government several times. Even yesterday night, we have called the soldiers, we have called the police, we have called even the chairman of the local government, reporting this matter to him. They are promising us that soldier is coming. Soldier. Even this morning, I have called them. They say soldier is coming, and police are coming.
But we have not seen any.
I was still waiting for them. The governor knows because the commissioner also informed the chairman of the local government also informed the ADC of the governor. From the governor. The governor knows about the kidnapper. How knows everything.
So in the last 1 year, how many people have been killed in your community?
It's uncountable. In the last few months, I can tell you about 30 something. In short, from New Year to today, we are counting about more than 10 or 20. I'm telling you that as I'm talking to you now, many people are missing inside the bush. Uncountable. You can't even remember how many people are there. Because fear has catch everyone. Nobody can even go to the bush to search and know how many is there. It's a massacre, and I don't even know how to put it because they even kill little children. Genocide. It is a daily event in this community. Daily event. You can see the worst one is that even we are talking about farm settlement where they are fighting in the bush. But the one that happened in New Year Day is the wife of our brother in Gene Dog. The junior brother to was kidnapped at the doctor. In the hometown, in their house, inside the kitchen. So why will we run again? Where we run into? When the security people are pursuing them, when they saw them try to pursue them, to know whether they can rescue those they kidnapped, they shot 3 security men. We don't have any problem with them. The only problem we have with them is that if you cultivate anything, they'll come and destroy it. If you talk, they'll bring out God. If you talk, they'll bring you die.
You must go and listen to Simon Ekpa, who is doing a very fantastic job. Very great job that Simon Ekpa is doing. Very, very, absolutely fantastic job that he's doing. You must listen to him and share his videos accordingly. Very, very important. He is bringing a new dimension to this very awareness that we are making, and you must listen to him. Very, very important. You must go and listen to Simon Ekpa, who is doing a very fantastic job. Very great job that Simon Ekpa is doing. Very, very, absolutely fantastic job that he's doing. You must listen to him and share his videos accordingly. Very, very important. He is bringing a new dimension to this very awareness that we are making, and you must listen to him. Very, very important.